Have you ever walked into a really expensive store, but you felt out of place, like you didn't belong there? Or the thought of living your dream life, living in this beautiful home, having your perfect physique, that perfect relationship, it felt like that life is meant for someone else, like it's far out of reach for you. The truth is, this isn't just a passing feeling. This is your self-concept. And your self-belief is the foundation for manifesting your desires. Hey guys, I'm Dina and welcome back to my channel. So Neville Goddard taught to manifest that life that you want or your desires. You have to first become that version of yourself that already has it. But if you don't feel worthy of that life, or you can't even picture that life for yourself, you are sending a very strong signal, powerful signal to your subconscious that you don't deserve it, that life is not possible for you. Not feeling worthy is a disconnect between what you want and who you are. So let's say you walk into that expensive store and you really want that amazing, beautiful purse or pair of shoes, but you look at the price tag and it's expensive and you say, I can't afford that. I'll never be able to have that. That's not for me. Those thoughts are connected to not feeling worthy of it. And if you don't feel worthy, you're constantly pushing your dreams away. You know, there's a difference between, I don't have the money in my bank account currently, but I feel worthy of these shoes. These shoes are mine. I'm gonna look so good in these shoes. See the difference there? There's a difference between thinking they belong to you, you just don't have access to them yet, versus they don't belong to you, and they never will. It could never happen. There's a story of Jim Carrey circulating social media all the time, of him talking about how he used to go to Mulholland Drive. And if you've never heard of Mulholland Drive, it's in LA, and it's this very expensive, windy road full of beautiful mansions, very wealthy people. And he would go there, and he did not have any money. He was a struggling actor at the time. But he saw himself living on that block. And he would say, this is my home. I just don't have the keys yet. And that is a perfect example of someone who feels worthy of that home, but they just don't have access to it yet. But he knew that he would get there. He had no doubt in his mind, and he worked towards it. It wasn't like he just went and sat on the couch. He made it happen, but it was his self-belief, his self-worth. He knew he belonged there, and he kept working and manifesting that life for himself. So you may be thinking, why is it so hard to change my self-belief? I really want that life. I want that dream life, but I can't visualize it. Or every time I try to picture it, it feels out of reach. I don't know how or why, but I just feel like I can't touch it. And that is because your brain loves familiarity. It loves things to stay the same. And so does your ego. Your ego's job is to protect you. And changing your self-identity, that is a threat. So it comes in to protect you. That's why when you first start visualizing or saying new affirmations of self-worth, like I deserve this, I'm wealthy, I can be whatever I want or have whatever I want. Sometimes when you first start out, it can feel uncomfortable. You can feel like, this doesn't feel like me, this doesn't feel right. It's your ego coming in and pulling you back into the comfort zone. It doesn't want you to change. And some ways that you can push past those moments of self-doubt is to acknowledge when you hear that voice trying to pull you back, saying it's not possible, this life isn't for me, or you just feel uncomfortable. In that moment, you want to say to yourself, this is my ego. This is my ego trying to keep me where I'm at, but I want to change. And just by you acknowledging that is your ego, it's not you, it takes that power back into your hands. And when it comes to changing your self-worth or your self-beliefs, you can start small. One thing that I did, I'm a foodie. I love food. I love grocery shopping, I love cooking. And once a week when I would go grocery shopping, I would pick out a really exciting new sauce or spice or jam or just something I wouldn't normally buy. And I wouldn't even look at the price. I would just be like, that looks good. I'll try that. I'll buy that. And I would get excited to try something new, but it was also building my self-worth. It might seem small, but in that moment, I was telling my subconscious, I am worthy of this new thing that I want, no matter the cost. And I wasn't spending money I didn't have, but I was focusing on building my self-worth, that I deserved this new spice, jam, whatever it is I wanted. And if you don't like to cook, you could do something as small as a coffee a week. Go buy whatever luxury drink you want, put whatever toppings you want on it, and don't even look at the price. Who cares? You deserve it. And that's a way that you can build your self-worth by letting your subconscious know, I deserve this. It doesn't matter the cost. I don't even look at the price. Another thing that you can do is to flip the script. So when you hear that self-doubt come in, you hear yourself saying it like, that's not for me, you turn around and say, why not me? Or you hear yourself say, that'll never happen. What if it did happen? What if changes the conversation from it could never happen to what if? This is a safe way for your brain and your ego to handle change, because you're going from it can never happen to what if it did happen? And you're slowly changing your subconscious mind to work for you. Because when you start feeding it these questions of possibility, it will start to find the answers for you. It'll find ways to make it happen for you. I want to remind you that it's time to release those old stories, the stories that you're not good enough, because you desire something more. You are wanting a better life for yourself. So you have to let go of past stories that you're clinging to, that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, or that life isn't for me. If you really want to change and manifest a new life, you have to start replacing those old self-beliefs, the ones of lack, the ones of not being good enough, with a new story. Create a new story for yourself. I saw this great example once of someone who had dirt in a jar, and the dirt represented your old self-beliefs, those beliefs of I'm not good enough. And when you poured in the water, and the water are your new beliefs, those new stories that you're feeding into your subconscious, when you keep pouring in the water and pouring in the new story, and you keep feeding your mind this, eventually the dirt loosens, it comes up to the surface of the jar, and it pours out. It goes into the sink. And that's what happens when you keep feeding your subconscious mind these new beliefs. Eventually the old beliefs will break up, dissipate, and float away. And they will come to the surface. Sometimes you have to face them. We have to acknowledge what's in our mind, those limiting self-beliefs, before they'll disappear. But they will. If you keep pouring in those new thoughts, those new stories, eventually the old will go away. So I want you to practice feeling deserving. I want you to go to that expensive store multiple times, try on the clothes, or go to really expensive homes, walk around, go to open houses, or go sit in that luxury car. Go to those environments where you normally would feel uncomfortable and practice getting into a comfortable state, a relaxed state. Because the more you do this, the more it will feel natural and the more deserving you will feel of that life. You are worthy of whatever it is you're desiring. There's a reason your soul is wanting whatever it is you want. Because deep down, you know you're capable of it. There's a reason you want it. And there's this great quote from Neville Goddard. I'm going to read it to you today because I feel like it's such an amazing explanation of your self-belief. And he says, you are already that which you want to be. And your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. Your refusal to believe, your self-belief, that it's possible for you. So I hope that you really start to work on your self-belief, because it's going to make all the difference to you manifesting what it is you want. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. I truly hope that it was helpful for you. And if it was, please let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in the next video.